Hello everyone and welcome to this video where we'll be showing you top Asana workflow examples. So Asana is a powerful work management platform designed to help teams of all sizes organize their work, collaborate effectively, and achieve their goals. It's super flexible, adapting to virtually any project or workflow. So in this video, we'll be showing you some of the top workflow examples which might be beneficial to you. Right away, we're here on our Asana and we're using the web version. There is also the downloaded app for your Windows device or mobile device. For this video, we will be using the web version, but it's the same. So as you can see in this example, you have here content calendar, and in order for me to change it, I could simply click on it and add anything I want, right? So this is the name of this project, and here you can see to do, doing, and done. I just simply collapsed it all so you can easily see them all. In order to expand them, you just need to click on the drop down, and this will provide all the sub details for each category. Now you might be wondering how I have content calendar and all of these details. It's pretty simple, and in order to create a workflow, you need to create your project. We're going to go over to the top left area where you have the plus, and you can see right there, create. We're going to click on it. And here you can see create task, project, message, portfolio, goal, or invite. For our first example, such as the content calendar, we're going to click on create. We're going to select project. As you can see here, you have three options: create a new project. How would you like to start? You have the blank project, use a template, or import project. If you'd like to start with a blank project, click on blank project. So here we're going to give it a project name and we're going to say content calendar. Then for the privacy, you're going to leave it under your workspace, and then you're going to click on continue. So here you have the choose views for your project. Now, if you'd like to see what this looks like, as you're hovering over it, you can see how it looks like right here. So we gave it a content calendar and we can see it right here. And then you have popular views, Gantt, calendar, note, workload. We're going to leave this for now because we have this. We're going to click on create project. So with the content calendar, we're trying to create a workflow to have a successful content calendar. We're going to add a section called to do, click on enter, and this saves it automatically. And we're going to add another section, doing, click on enter, and then click on add section again, and we have done. So you can see the different stages such as to do, doing, and done, and basically you can write some other subtasks under each of these. So say we want to add a to-do list under to-do, we're going to click on the add task area. So for the first one, we have create first blog post under to-do, and say if you're done with this, you can click on this, and you can see that you just saw a celebration, which means that this has been done. So you can move it over here, and by moving it over to doing, you can see that creating your first blog post as a research has been done, and it's currently in the process of creating. Now that's just an option, as you can actually create more subtasks without moving them. You can come over to do again, click on add task and say research. So we just call this a random task, research for text spaces. And then you'd like to add your assignees and those who you're working with. You can come over here and assign someone to this by clicking on the plus icon. And currently you can see it's just one email address, which is you, and you can click on invite teammates via email. So you need to click on this to add them. We're going to put in an email address here. And as you can see, it's ready to send an invitation. And when this person is added, it will bring this person right here and add the person to this assignment where they will be notified. And let's not forget that when you're having your projects, you also want to have a due date so everything can take place by arrangement. So you have a due date here, and on this column you can add it, add new date. You could put it, say, a week from now, click away from it, and you can see 20th of February. So if this is behind schedule, you're going to see this in red. We're just going to give an example by clicking on the calendar again, put a date, which is a week behind. And when you click away, you can see that it's red because it's overdue. When we move over to board, you can see exactly what you're doing, but in a different style. With a board style, you can see everything by boards. So you have to do, you have doing, and you have done. And here you have the untitled section where you can add some tasks and later designate them to the different stages of your workflow. So right away, we're going to give another example, and we're going to change this from content calendar to project management. Great, so now we have project management and we can change this to something else. We're just going to spend a few moments to do that. Great, so we have another example, and this time it's a project management workflow, and you can see we've changed everything. We now have planning, development, testing, and deployment. Once again, if we go over to board, we're going to see the different sections here under planning, development, and testing, and also we have deployment. If we go over to list, and here say we want to put a task called software design, and so after this is written, you can come once again to put in your due date, add your assignee, and any other information. So here we have the plus or add field button, and when you click on it, you can see some other details such as number, date, people, formula, ID, basically every other thing that you might be needing in your project workflow. So for now, we just have the task name, assignee, and due date. And so we have the software design, and then we're going to go over to board. And as you can see, the software design is there. And so after the planning stage is complete, we can move this over to development. And this could also have a new date for this section. And so we can move it once again if we're ready to move it over to testing. And so your workflow is made easier because you have the name of the task, you have the name of those who you've assigned it to, and the due date, and if it's good or not. So you can see we have the option to like it or not, or you can click on edit to add more fields, such as the field title, field type, and other information that might be appropriate to you. One more example I'd like to give is in the scenario of having new employees in your company. So we're going to go over to list and then change some details right here. So as you can see in this new example, we have new employee onboarding. So here we have complete HR paperwork, IT setup, team introductions, field training. We're going to spend a moment putting in some names right here. So here we just put in some names such as John Lark, Jane Olsen, May Rivers. So it's also a good practice to have these new members with their emails added to Asana. So for example, if John Lark is done with his paperwork, you're going to tick it as done. And now we have John Lark done. And then say Jane Olsen also. You can see some animation there to show that you've made some progress. Of course, after they've completed the HR paperwork, you could either come and write their names again here, or you could simply drag it down here and bring it down here again. That way, their names are no longer here, and the only name that is there is May Rivers, who hasn't done paperwork, maybe because there is some delay in the process. And then they're onto IT setup for laptops, account, and any other thing that the IT department will be needing to do with them. And so you can again have the assignee and also the due date. And when it's met, they could also repeat the process of moving to the next stage. And then when, say, Jane Olsen is ready, we can move Jane Olsen to this part. And now she's in team introductions. If you'd like a different view, such as the board, you can have it like so. And depending on what you're doing, the timeline view is also beneficial. As you can see, we're not seeing anything here. And that's because when we go over to list, there isn't any due date. So we're going to put in some due dates here. Then with the due dates added, you have tomorrow, Monday, and Wednesday. We're going to go over to the timeline. And now you can see their names, right? So you have May Rivers, John Lark, and Jane Olsen. And you have the due date for each of them, right? This will help you manage your team better and the workflow would be easier. And then under dashboard, you have completed tasks, incomplete task, overdue task, total task. So if you're just opening Asana for the first time and you're handling the employee and you are the HR handling the new employee onboarding, you might quickly want to come over to the dashboard and see what has been completed. So when you come over to dashboard, you can see completed tasks, incomplete task. And if you're wondering who that is, you can click on it. And you can see that May Rivers is behind schedule a bit. Of course, the due date hasn't been met, but from everything you're seeing, this name hasn't been completed. So these are just a few examples which you can apply in your business, firm, or project management team to make things faster and easier to achieve. We now hope that you can go ahead and make some use with the tips we've pointed in this video.